Hey team, Major Foe here. Operation Cerberus, turn 7, July 1939, Commonwealth in France. Okay, Mark the Shark attacked France, so we've moved up a whole bunch of dollar values. Now France is at 18, FEC's at 14, and ANZAC's at 7. The UK's gone to 28 with their bonus from Belgium and the Polish territories. Um, the dice were not on his side for that one at all. Um, Oof, I've been in those situations and it's not a fun go. Um, we'll see how I can respond to that. Still a heavy force sitting on the border, so start with the Commonwealth turn. We can now move to stage 3. So I've got radar and anti-sub warfare, both at stage 2. So looking for a 7 or above on radar. Hey, there we go. That's an 8. We'll take that. Um, Looking for a 7 or above on anti-sub warfare. Ooh, that's an 11. We'll take that. So that's going to go to stage 2. This time I put a French roundel underneath the dice I'm going to roll for that so I don't mess it up again. Okay, on to purchases. So, took a little bit of convoy damage, down to 13, 7, and 3 respectively for UK, FEC, and ANZAC. So the UK, now that I've been attacked, I get $1 off colonials for this turn. So they're $3 a piece. So I'll buy 2 of those at $6. And one infantry is $3, so that's $9. And then a AAA gun for $4, so that's $13 in total. ANZAC, correction, FEC has $7. They're going to finish the fortification and purchase a militia. That's 5 plus 2 is 7. And we've only got $3 left over on the ANZAC side, so 1 infantry. All right, we've got a few attacks here. I noticed on Mark's board, I think he's had my fleet down a little further, so there was some discrepancies. But my fleet has been an A48 for a turn or 2, so this tactical bomber is going to roll 1, go on map, attack this sub, and then pop back. So we're looking at a 7 or below on that attack. Now we've got the seaplane here is going to go out 1, go on map. We need 3 or less at this German sub in M2, and I've got that medium bomber at a 7 or below in A44 against this German sub. I'll leave that one for now. Up here I've got 2 subs in A23. They're going to move 1 to A6, 2 to A7, and I'm going to try 2 shots at their line against that $2. See how successful that rolls. There's no radar yet, no anti-submarine warfare, so that should be pretty good. I don't have any other attacks anywhere else. The rest is all non-combat. So, let's see how the dice go on my side. So right here we got a tactical bomber against that sub. Sub doesn't shoot back, so we're looking at a 7 or below. That's a 2, so that sub in A46 is deleted. I'll move that back in a second, but it's literally going to go land back on the carrier. We've got the medium bomber in A44. It has a map range of 1, so it's going to just go out and then go back against the submarine here. So we need a 7 or below as well. That's a 12. That's a miss. So that's unfortunate. Over here, we've got the seaplane against the sub in M2. So we need a 3 or less. Unlucky again. So 1 out of 2, 1 out of 3, sorry. Not bad. That's those 2 attacks. Up here, we've got the UK in yellow, the Germans in black, +2 bonus for the submarine, and no bonus for the Germans. So first roll, 4 to 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 to 6 is 0. So first sub missed. Second sub, 5 to 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. To 5 is 2. So I did 2 damage on this line. So I'll take $2 off of the Germans. So they did 3 to me, I did 2 back. So not great, but not terrible. I'll actually leave those dice there. I I think we're on to non-combat now. Pardon me, I'll just get a drink. Excuse me. Non-combat, that tactical bomber is going to go back on the carrier in A48. The medium bomber and seaplane will go back into Gibraltar. Down here in Africa, I have two rail movements due to the rail being finished, so I'll move that infantry and cavalry, and I'll rail those two folks up to Nubia. So there's now 3 cavalry and 2 infantry in Nubia. No other movements over here. There is a transport in British Malay. Strategic naval move, 5 spaces, so 1 into I-12, 2 into I-7, 3 into I-4, 4 into I-5, and 5 into M8. Don't think there's any more non-combat over here. Over this way, we've got a seaplane in Sydney. It's going to move 1 to New South Wales, 2 to Queensland, and 3 to the Northern Territory. Okay. All good there, all good there. Nothing down this way. Up here, this British fighter is going to come off of the light carrier in A20. It's going to go 1 to A21, 2 to Southern England, and 3 into London. That British carrier is going to move from A20, 1 space into A17, 2 spaces into A4, and 3 spaces into A6. The fighter, oh, there was a combat here. Apologies. You can see I have my marker here. This infantry from Eastern Poland is literally just going to walk into Slovakia and take that. I apologize. It was on my map there. So that's $1 up for the UK and $1 down for Germany. That goes to 29. This goes to 24. Sorry about that, folks. I did have it marked on my map, so once again, if folks are letting me finish that off, that's great. If not, we can move it back on the next turn for sure. Militia can't move, is going to stay there. This fighter has a movement of 4. There's no air base or anything, but it can move 1 to Western Poland, 2 to A12. Denmark is still neutral, so it can cross through the Danish Straits. That's 3 to A10 and 4 into A6 and land on that British carrier. We have 2 transports in port. So the French transports were still in A23. They were unable to go into port because we weren't at war. We weren't aligned at the time. We are now, so I'll fix that in a second. These 3 transports are going to move out of port in A23 down to A22. They're going to pick up an infantry and an AA gun, an infantry and an AA gun, and another infantry. And they're going to drop all of those units into Picardy. So those 2 AA guns and 3 infantry, now that the UK and France are at war with the Axis, I believe they can share territory. So the British Expeditionary Force has landed in Picardy. Can't move the French yet, it's not their turn, so that leaves a fighter, an airborne, an air transport, and a motorized. Those 3 transports will go back into port into London, so they're still in port. And I will rail 1 militia from northern England down into London. I think that is all of the UK movements. I don't think there's any more here. No. And over here, total mess. Down here, we're done that. Okay. Now we'll move on to placing of units. So we finished the fortification for FEC. That will go to Calcutta. So there's now a fort in Calcutta. That militia will go to southern India. The infantry for ANZAC will go into Sydney. Excuse me. We'll get these ones. So I have an infantry will go to Cape Town, a colonial will go to Nubia, and another colonial will go to Lower Egypt. The AA gun will go to London. Okay. And, excuse me. And I think that's it. Those folks went back into port. Yeah, pretty sure we're good there. I did want to move other ships into port there. Apologies, but I'll just move some other stuff later. Okay, I believe that's it for the placing of units. We'll go to income. So UK's at $29 and they have the Suez Canal, so there's +3, and Iran is still neutral, so +2, so that should be 34. FEC is at $14, and then Aden and Suez are still in Allied control, so that's $2 extra, so they're at 16. And ANZAC's at 7. They have no bonuses because there is warships within 2, so they're at $7. So that's 34, 16, and 7. So 34, 16, and 7. All right, perfect. Now we'll move on to the French turn. I'll start with tech. Improve factories for France. We're currently at stage 1. We need a 7 or above. That's an 11. That's not bad. I guess now that we're going to stage 3, I probably should have rolled long-range aircraft, but it all doesn't matter. Probably not going to make it to finalize tech for France anyway. France has $10 to spend this turn, so they're going to start a fortification for 5. They get the free Foreign Legion because they're at war with an Axis power and they're still a major power. Because Paris didn't fall. They have $3 left, so correction, $5 left. $3 for an infantry and $2 for militia. So 5 plus 2 plus 3 is 10. Okay, France has no combat movements. They can't leave French territory in the first turn, so there's not much they can do. We'll push into non-combat movement. The artillery from Alsace-Lorraine will move into Picardy. Try and hold out as best we can over there. Militia from Aquitaine will move to Paris. Militia from southern France will move to Alsace-Lorraine. The French Foreign Legion in Alsace-Lorraine will move into Paris. And the militia in Normandy will move into Picardy. The AA gun in the French AA gun in Picardy will move into Paris as well. Don't want to see a round 2 of that and see if he rolls a little better next time, but hopefully that's enough to deter that. Lost my fighter, lost my AA, lost 4 infantry, but I did do some damage against the German Air Force. That to say, I don't think there was any other movements this way because there are no units. I will take French battleship, and I'll put that in port in London just for that extra militia. And the 2 transports are also going into port. Yeah, maybe I'll take the second French battleship. Well, that doesn't leaves me pretty thin. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4. Could be a rough ride. Yeah, let's do it. I think London's more important. Scale that up. So we'll put that French battleship in port in London, and that'll add 2 militia to the defense of London if they get frisky and try and go there too. Um, okay, I think that's all the movements here. Once again, I don't believe there's any more movements anywhere else for France. Okay, on to placing of units. Okay, so I will place a militia in Alsace-Lorraine. That infantry has to go to Paris because that's the only factory I have. And the French Foreign Legion can go to any territory with a numbered value, so I will put that French Foreign Legion in Picardy. So, end of the turn. I'll just do income first, I guess. So France is at $18, and they have Indochina still, so that's 2, and Suez, which is 1, so 18 plus 3 is $21. So, quick unit recap. France has a fort. Guess I could move my ships here, but France has a fort at stage 2, heavy cruiser at stage 2, and a battleship at stage 3. Finish the turn with $21. No units over here. In M8, there's 2 battleships, 2 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, 4 destroyers, light carrier and fighter, 2 transports and 2 French subs, 4 infantry, a militia, a colonial, and an AA gun in Lower Egypt, militia in Western Egypt, infantry in Cyprus and Malta, 2 infantry, 3 cavalry, and a colonial in Nubia, infantry in Cape Town, militia in the Belgian Congo. A48 has light carrier, tactical, 2 destroyers, and a French sub. Gibraltar has 2 coastal guns, medium bomber, seaplane, 2 infantry, and a militia. A20 has 2 destroyers, French sub, and a torpedo boat destroyer. Saint Pierre has the French bomber. Ottawa has a militia. France is struggling to stay alive, but 2 militia in Alsace-Lorraine, a mountain brigade, and 4 infantry. 3 infantry, a militia, a foreign legion, and a triple A in Paris. Picardy has British Expeditionary Force of 3 infantry, 2 AA guns. They have 6 French infantry, 2 French militia, a French foreign legion, and artillery, 2 motorized, and 2 tank destroyers. London's looking kind of weak, but it's got a militia, a fighter, a AAA, an airborne, a transport plane, and a motorized. It has infantry and a militia in Northern England, a mountain brigade in Scotland, the first fleet in London. There's 2 battleships and 5 transports, 3 British, 2 French. In Sea Zone A23, battleship, coastal defense ship, battle cruiser, 3 heavy cruisers, light cruiser, torpedo boat destroyer, and a destroyer. In A6, a French torpedo boat destroyer, 3 destroyers, a light cruiser, a British light carrier and fighter, 2 subs in A7 rating up there. And I think that is it. Oh, yep. Poland. Poland took Slovakia with an infantry, I guess UK. Militia in eastern Poland, 2 militia cavalry, and 2 infantry in Warsaw, 2 militia in Lubelski. I think that's everything. Oh, there's a torpedo boat destroyer I did forget to switch out as well in A12. So that torpedo boat destroyer is still here in A12. I don't think it can go through the strait, so just pretty much cannon fodder sat out there, waiting to be destroyed. All right, I think that concludes the Commonwealth and French turn. Thanks again for watching.